First of all, nice to meet you. And I'll give you a bit of an overview of how this call is going to be. Basically, in this call, first of all, I try to get an understanding of what you are trying to achieve. If you are looking for any specific like priorities, like lighting, heating, blinds, or everything combined. And also if you are like moving to a new house or renovating your house or simply improving. And then after that, I will explain you, obviously, depending on your preference, a bit of the platform, how it works, how you integrate all together, a bit of more detail. So if you want, as a starting point, tell me what are you trying to achieve? What is your situation? We are the first company in the UK that integrates all the smart home devices from different brands and ecosystem into one single platform, one single app. Because as you mentioned, people hate to have 20 apps in the phone, one for the lighting, another one for the heating, one for the blinds. And not only that you need to have all these apps, which is already a mess, but that the devices don't talk to each other. So the amount of automations you can create is very limited because you cannot do things like, I always put an example in our platform, that you can be watching TV, a movie on the TV, and if someone rings the doorbell, the TV can pause the movie automatically. You don't have to look for the controller. And in certain TVs, we can actually change the channel of the TV so you see who is at the door. Automatically, someone rings the doorbell, you see that is the delivery guy from Amazon. He just left the parcel and is jumping into the car and leaving. You just click play, keep watching the movie, you know the parcel is there, and you will pick it up later. And then on top of this integration, which is already amazing and really powerful, we create a 3D floor plan of your house, completely personalized. And this is what you use as a user interface. So let me actually share my screen because they say that one picture is better than 1,000 words, and I believe that's true. So the first thing you can notice is that only looking at the floor plan for 2 seconds, without even touching it, I already know everything about my house. I know, for example, that this light is on. I know that this LED strip is on. I know the other lights are on in the garden, everywhere. I know, for example, that this door in the garage is open because this square symbolizes a door that is open. And if I want to interact with the system, it's only a touch. So I want to turn on this light, boom, you see in the camera how my light turned on. And the floor plan actually showed me that this light is on. Let me turn it off because it's pretty bright. So, and it's the same for everything else, not only lighting, but for example, the heating. If the heating was on, the radiators would be red, or the underfloor heating will show me lines in the floor. So it's all about showing everything. You can see also, well, a lot of icons here. These like people, these persons, they are motion sensors. So if I get up and move around the house, you will see how they become yellow, and they can activate obviously actions, turning on the lights, turning off the lights, and all the other stuff. When I'm leaving the house, I have a button here, a wireless button, and when I'm leaving, I touch this button and leave the house. And some people ask me, yeah, but this is what you used to do before. And I say, when you leave the house, typically, before leaving, you check if you left any door or window open in the first floor, in the ground floor. You check if your pet is outside in the garden. You turn off all the lights. You do so many things that you don't even realize that I don't do anymore. When I'm going to leave, I tap the button. If any door or window is open, the house will shout through the speakers, hey, you left this window open. Oh, it's true. I go, close it, and leave. If my cat is on the garden, or if anything of a checklist that I have created happens, the house will tell me. And if nothing happens, I will leave. As soon as I close the door locks the door. All the lights turn off automatically, so I don't need to check or to even look at them. The TVs, if they are on, they turn off as well. So basically, all this automation creates simplicity. So things happen every single time, and you don't need to remember them. And when you want to add another step, you just add it to the checklist, and that's it. Next time, it will work in that way. I always talk about recommendations because obviously I can do a full project, and I can provide the devices, I can get them from you, and I can do everything. But I always talk about recommendations because I'm not tied to any company. So when I recommend a device, it's because in my opinion, it's the best device for your use case. So that's why I talk about recommendations. When I design a smart home, I always think about the what if. What if the Wi-Fi is down, the connection is down, the router is down, if everything fails, you can still go to the switch or the thermostat or whatever it is and turn it on manually. Something that I think I forgot to mention at the beginning, I always forget, is that after this call, I will send you an email. It's a pretty big email because I like to include a lot of information. So be ready to read if you are interested. So I include information about the light switches that I recommend. And actually a couple of videos, YouTube videos that you can see them in action, what they can do. Link to my website for a list of automations. I have a blog in the website with 12 or 14 automations so people can actually see what is possible. I have even a floor plan, like a virtual house created on the website, so you can go there and you can play around with a virtual house, turning on and off lights, turning on the TV, so you can do everything that you will be able to do, so you can test the application. And also I include a price list. Obviously, it's not a quote because it's not a personalized quote. We're not having discussed about details, but you can get a sense of pricing for devices, for integrations, for other stuff. And the most important is the smart hub. I call it the brain of the house. It contains the application, the floor map, all the automations, and most importantly, all the data. So basically, all your data. When I, for example, click here and you see all the history about data, when the heating was on, off, the temperatures, all this data is stored inside the smart hub, inside your house. So there is no cloud or third-party servers that you don't know where your data is. So I have another system that I haven't explained you yet, that it's called Smart CCTV. For me, a normal CCTV system is pretty dumb because you need to look at the recordings to see what happened yesterday, so not very useful. So what I do is I connect the cameras to the system as well, and the cameras are actually feeding data through obviously video and audio. I can give you an example. If I click on one of the cameras, for example, this is my driveway, you can see that my car is obviously here, this is my driveway, but in the car count, the system is recognizing one object. So I can use this information also in automations. If someone parked in my driveway, for example, and I am home, maybe I don't care, or maybe I want to message on the TV, you got visitors, fine. But if the same thing happens and I am on holiday or I am at work or I am away, maybe I want a picture in the phone with a notification that someone is in your driveway. Or similarly in my garden, if a camera in my garden detects a person while I am at home, it's me or my family, I don't care. But if I am on holidays, maybe I want to just create a party, like sound, alarm, blink lights, or whatever, or visual notification as well. So all this information makes possible to create automations that takes data from different sources. So it can take data from a camera picking a person, plus your location, plus if there is anyone at home or any light is on or off. So there is basically no limit in the sources that you can pick. The potential of this is endless because there are so many options. I'm sure if I start mentioning devices, for example, maybe you are not aware that there are CO2 devices, which I consider fundamental. Do you see this CO2? They are measuring the quality of the air in my living room and my bedroom. For me, this is key because sometimes you feel like heavy, like, oh, today I'm having a bad day. And you don't realize that maybe in the morning you got some visitors, some friends coming over, you were in the living room for a couple of hours, they already left, and the whole room is full of CO2. You don't even know. That is, just look at my bedroom, for example. If it almost reached yesterday night, almost 2,000, which is still okay. But if it went over 2,000, like much more, maybe I will have to change maybe keep the door a little bit open or do something. But we don't know any of this because we don't have sensors for this. So there are CO2 sensors, presence detection, door or window sensors. It's completely limited. Light sensors, anything you can imagine. So we can keep adding more and more devices to make the house smarter and smarter.